Payo or Payo is the name locals use to refer to the 1995 declared UNESCO Heritage Site, the rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras. It is found in northern Philippines, specifically located in Kiangan, Batad, Bangaan, Hinduan, and Mayoyaw in the province of Ifugao. It looks like stairways going to heaven. Built entirely by hands, it was believed to be constructed by the Ifugao some 2,000 years ago. Our ancestors built the terraces mainly for reasons concerning food. Because of this necessity for food, the Ifugaos carved the terraces on rugged mountains that had a very complex irrigation system. It was said to be the only natural monument in the world not built by slaves. The Ifugaos built, planted, and cultivated through the Payo a sustainable system that nurtured both their cultural identity and provided food security. Aside from the Banawe rice terraces, Cordillera rice comes from other notable rice terraces in the area. The Batad rice terraces are located in Barangay Batad, Banawe, and was said to resemble an amphitheater. The Mayayo rice terraces are well known for their rice variety called Dinawan, an organic rice that are grown in red and white varieties. The Hapon rice terraces located in Hinduan are stone-walled and were said to exist since 650 AD. Lastly, the Kiangan rice terraces was said to produce rice varieties called Nagakadan and Hulungan. The rice terraces provide multiple goods and services in terms of food security and sovereignty, income generation, quality nutrition, conservation of biodiversity, carbon sequestration and nutrient cycling, soil and water conservation, pest regulation, and preservation of culture. Traditional rice production in Ifugao is divided into two phases, namely field preparation and rice production. These are subdivided into 4 seasons of an equal duration in the agricultural calendar, namely Kiwang or off-season, Lawang or planting season, Tialgo or dry season, and Ahitudo or harvest season. Iwang or Kiwang is the off-season and is the longest season with rain and cold days as well as typhoons. It begins in late July or early August after the last ritual holiday, the preceding harvest, until late November or first part of December. Rice fields are left empty to regain their fertility. Meanwhile, woodlots are planted and sweetens are harvested and replanted. Moreover, prestige feasts are usually held during this period as there is abundance of food. Ubaya or feast. When there is an exceptionally good harvest, a post-harvest Thanksgiving feast or ubaya takes place. Animal sacrifices consist of a pig and 5 chickens. Rice fields and the rice granary are blessed so that they can continue to yield abundantly and be protected from theft and calamities. Lawang or planting season. This is the season of field work and rice planting. It runs from late November until March. During this period, terraces are prepared for planting. Work stages and rituals. Ahi gaud or ahi lawang. As soon as the women finish clearing the field, the men take their turn in the field work. They level the pond field, reshape the paddies, and repair whatever part of the rice field is destroyed during the previous agricultural year, especially the mud or stone walls and the dikes. Ahi hopnak or ahi patak. Upon completion of the local ritual, the rice panicles are placed on the seedbed. Seeding is done only in the afternoon so that fowls will not devour it. Tialgo or dry season. This period runs from late March until late June. By this time, the rice seedlings are growing. Farmers devote their time in maintaining rice crops and irrigation channels as well as destruction of pests. Meanwhile, Sweden farms are planted. Work stages and rituals. Hagop-hop. Before the first weeding of the rice crops, this ritual is performed to seek permission from the deities so that they will allow the weeds to wilt but not the rice crops. Ahitudo or Ahi-ani. Harvest season. This is the shortest season in the Ifugao calendar. It runs from late June to July and it concludes the agricultural year. Ahitulo or Ahi-ani. After confirming that the grains are ripe, harvest begins. Once again, the first to harvest his crop is the tomonak. After him, the rest may follow. Women harvest the grains while the men carry the harvest to the rice granary. Compared to other work stages, the harvest season is the most enjoyable since everybody participates in the harvest activities regardless of age, gender, and capability. Ahihape and ponpon. Drying and storage. The newly harvested grains are dried under the sun the following day. After 3 days of drying, the grains are stored inside the rice granary. Some are brought inside the residential houses and kept in the huguhug as well as in the pala. In the past, the Ifugaos were feared headhunters just as other tribes in the mountainous regions of northern Luzon. The war dance, called the Bangibang, is one of the cultural remnants of the time of tribal conflict. This dance is traditionally held on the walls of the rice terraces by the men, equipped with spears, axes, and wooden shields and a headdress made of leaves. According to an old source, whenever headhunting expeditions were to take place, a kanyao is held. A kanyao is a ceremonious occasion that involves dancing, drinking, pig killing, and speeches. Holding a kanyao is important and should be arranged, or else something bad might happen. Among the Ifugaos, the Isnag tribe had been known to be a headhunting society since recorded history. In the Kalinga tribe, however, an institution of peace pacts called Bodong was developed which has minimized traditional warfare and headhunting and serves as a mechanism for the initiation, maintenance, renewal, and reinforcement of kinship and social ties.
The Mumbaki is the repository of Ifugao culture. The Ifugaos do not have a written language, a written dialect. Everything is there in the head and heart of the Mumbaki. And the Mumbaki is a rare, I would say, quotation mark, a rare animal, because once he's initiated, once he learns the responsibilities of a Mumbaki, he knows, he becomes now first, he becomes the repository of our culture. You ask him about taboos, customs and tradition, he knows. He is also an arbiter where there are disputes in the locality. He is the arbiter and he's respected. You may be a lawyer, you may be an engineer, but the people will respect more the Mumbaki in his own locality because he is the one who holds the culture of the people.
They pour the wine and they drink. After a while, they pray to and invoke their ancestors on both sides for the right on the origin of rice. They finish invoking and take out the chickens. They pan-bless the seedlings to be transplanted. They slit the chickens and sing them. They cut them open and inspect the bile sacks, and the signs are good.
What are the varieties of rice found in the market?
Balatini coloring rice, red rice, and Tinawan rice, all sold for 50 pesos per half kilo.
How are they different from one another?
The different varieties of rice differ in terms of their harvest time. 4 months for the Balatini rice, 3 months for the red rice, and 1 year for the Tinawan rice. The Balatini rice is also different from the two other since it has vitamin E.
What is the best-selling rice? Why?
The Balatini or coloring rice is the best-selling rice since the Tagalogs like their own rice more compared to the imported ones, for it contains vitamins. Moreover, fertilizers and pesticides are not used in the production of this variety of rice.
What is the most expensive rice? How about the cheapest?
All varieties of rice, whether Balatini, red, or Tinawan, are sold for 100 pesos per kilogram. Any seller from Mount Polis and Banawi market sells the native rice with the same price.
Do you have your own payo? If yes, how did you get it?
A payo may be inherited by the youngest or the eldest child of the owner, but originally they got their payo from their ancestors, and one payo represents one family.
What is the process of rice production?
The process of rice production involves rubbing of the harvested rice, drying it under the sun, and pounding. 1 hour of this process produces 1 kilogram of rice, and 5 persons doing this process can produce 1 kilogram of rice, and 1 hectare produces 50 sacks of rice.
What are the rituals done before, during, and after harvesting the rice?
At present, their culture on rice planting is deteriorating. The old practices and rituals for the protection of payo, production, and harvest of rice are already gone. Although methods and processes are still the same, the rituals seem non-existent anymore. Some of their rituals and processes are also industrialized. One example given is the bulol, which according to a sari-sari store personnel in Sagada, is at present for tourism purposes only.
Can you describe how the work is divided among males and females?
The female cooks food for her family, while the male works at the payo planting palay.
What is the significance of rice in your culture?
At the middle of the payo is where their house can be found. The payo also serves as their source of food and livelihood.
What are the problems faced by the caretakers of the rice terraces?
One of the present problems the natives face in relation to their payo is the presence of worms and snails. These worms and snails attack the palays and steal the nutrients from the soil, causing the palays to get insufficient vitamins. Moreover, because of these snails and worms, the natives are forced to put cement on their payo to prevent its further destruction. And at present, they have admitted that some of the parts of the payo are already artificial. Natural calamities such as typhoons and drought are also some of the problems of the natives.
For the Ifugao, the primary purpose in constructing the payo is for agricultural production. But over the years, the product of their resourcefulness has become well known, especially with the amplification of its aesthetic, archaeological, engineering, and most importantly, sociocultural significance.